Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Viola. Today I want to discuss with you guys the different kinds of class formats available for you to use on Outschool, each of their sort of pros and cons, and give suggestions on when may be better to use each type of class formats. Today we are going to stick with the four main types of classes, which are ongoing classes, one-time classes, flexible classes, and multi-day courses. All right, ready? Let's go. So let's start with my favorite format, the ongoing class. So in the ongoing class, you meet with your student via live video call on Zoom every week. The parents and their learners are like your subscribers, essentially. Automatic payment is set up, so Outschool take payment from them for your next class every Sunday, which they are free to cancel at any time. So I really love this format. I think it's the best because it has so many benefits. For the students' end, if they join your class this week, they don't have any need to catch up on previous material, so it's very flexible. They can join at any time, they can cancel at any time. It's like a drop-in class, right? Another word for it. So the commitment level is essentially pretty low. But if they do enjoy your class, it's more than likely that they will stay, which is amazing for you. Students are automatically enrolled into your next class, so you don't have to pray that the students will re-enroll with you. To be honest, I bet that like me, many people are simply lazy when it comes to unsubscribing to things, right? It takes time and effort to go cancel things, just like it takes time and effort to sign up for things. I used to have a JustFab Shoes membership for months before I eventually went and canceled it. I think the subscription system is honestly one of the most genius and sometimes a little bit sneaky marketing tool of our time. I'm not saying any of this to suggest that you should abuse this beautiful system, okay? Definitely not. You need to make sure that you keep making high quality classes so your students will come back for more. If you do it right, your students will commit into a weekly class with you, which is ultimately what you want. And it's so good for them because having a set schedule allows them to build and grow a skill, and it will give them a real sense of accomplishment. And as you get to keep these old students, you can keep building more students, and hopefully your class will get bigger and bigger, and you have lots of followers and make lots of money. Okay, now to mention some cons of the ongoing class. The biggest thing with this kind of format is that you need to be teaching a new lesson every week. So you need to have enough ideas to keep the classes going, and also you need time to prep for these classes, which can be a little bit tough and stressful to think about. Honestly, when I first started my ongoing dance classes for teenagers, it scared me. I thought, oh my gosh, I have to come up with new choreography every week. I don't have time. I almost canceled this class, but then I got over my fears and I said, Viola, you can do this, okay? And I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now, and it's my most successful class to date. So I have the biggest hack for you guys is to batch work, okay? Set some time aside every month, maybe a day, and just to plan out class content for a couple weeks in a row, maybe for the whole month. So 4 weeks. Yeah, plan out all your lessons in that day. It will be a hard day, but then after that you're done and you're set to go. We can talk about productivity hacks some more in a different video, but that is the biggest hack I have for you today, batch work. Another challenge for ongoing classes is that it is required that students can join your class at any time. So your lesson material this week cannot be building on something that you taught before last week. So this can be a bit of a challenge for some subjects that I would imagine, maybe like math and languages. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, math and language teachers, where I think you have to keep building on the knowledge that you've gained and keep practicing things. So it can be a little bit difficult to teach this kind of subjects in an ongoing format, but you can definitely still do it. You just have to be a little bit more creative. In conclusion, the ongoing format is great if you can come up with many unlimited ideas for a certain subject. It's especially good for hosting clubs and interest groups. For me personally, right now I'm teaching an ongoing dance class where I share new choreography with students every week, so it works very well. The ongoing class is really the best format in my opinion for student retention, so I highly recommend you creating ongoing class as your priority. Next, let's talk about the one-time class. With one-time classes, you meet the students once via a Sky Zoom call at a scheduled time. When you start on Outschool, your first class is always required to be a one-time class so you can get used to teaching, get over the nervous jitters, and get to know the technical aspects of how class works, how to use Zoom. Yeah, but one-time classes has their place after you become a familiar teacher as well because it has many benefits. So let's go over them. For the students, a one-time class is a really good way to explore a new interest and try out a new teacher. So the commitment level and the costs are both very low. They just have to pay for one class. So it's not too hard to get new students to try your new class. As a new teacher starting out, this can be a really good way to build a reputation on Outschool. For you as the teacher, a one-time class takes the least amount of work out of all the formats. It's the easiest to brainstorm, the easiest to plan. You don't have to think about a whole curriculum, right? It's just one-time class and there's no ongoing forums to host. So really, it's super simple. My favorite thing about the one-time class is that once you've created this class, you can use the lesson content again and again. You can recycle it and just schedule more sections. It's really good for finding more students, more followers, and you can use the one-time class as an introduction for your other multi-day courses or your ongoing class of a related topic. Now, the cons of one-time classes, it is not great for student retention, unlike ongoing classes. So you teach a class, you see the students once, you say goodbye, you have a good time, and you may never see them again. Maybe it's not because you didn't do a good job, it's just, the student was bored that day and they wanted to try out a class and yours happened to be available, but they don't have the same availability again in the future, right? So it is hard to get students to re-enroll. That's something that I'm still trying to figure out as well. So in conclusion, I think the best way to use one-time classes is to use it as an introduction for your ongoing class. Think of it as the bait, right? Usually at the end of my ongoing class, my one-time class, I would tell the students like, oh, if you like this Little Mermaid dance class, I also have a Disney camp coming up and I have a weekly dance cardio party class if you want to join. So it's okay to upsell your class. Outschool does not have any rules against that. You can market yourself. And I also send a message to parents after class to say, Avi did great today. If she is interested, here is a link for some of my other classes. I just got 2 kids last week, 2 girls from my viral TikTok dance class into my ongoing Sassy Jazz Funk class for teenagers. So it does work. Strategies, people. Next, let's talk about the multi-day course format. So in this format, the learners and teachers meet at certain set times for multiple sessions via live Zoom chats. So the teacher is usually also responsible for hosting discussions via the classroom forum or private messages. In this format, unlike the ongoing class where it's a drop-in and your material cannot build upon each other, it is expected that your lessons are progressions of materials that were previously worked on. So let's get into the pros and cons of this format. For the students, this kind of format is really great for them in terms of building a skill. They can see their progress from the beginning to the end, and it really fosters a sense of accomplishment. It's also really nice for them to make friends because they see the same kids again and again for multiple times during a short period. And with you as well as a teacher, it's really great to build a relationship with your students. A really nice thing about multi-day course is that your earning is set from the moment that someone pays for the course, right? Unless they request a refund for whatever reason, but if you got someone in your course, you know that bread is coming in for the month, and it is a really nice feeling. And finally, I think just like the one-time class with multi-day courses, you can, once you create the course, you can recycle it for the future and use it again and again. On the disadvantages side of the multi-day course, with this kind of format, the commitment level is relatively higher. Parents have to pay a big amount upfront for the entire course. It can be, $100. So that can make them a little bit hesitant to book you. My suggestion for that is to make your course listing very attractive. Optimize your image, your description, everything. We'll talk about how to do that in a different video. And also use a one-time class as your hook and as your bait to to attract learners into your course, because they will already know that you are a good teacher if they took your one-time class. Another challenge I found with multi-day courses is that it's hard to schedule the right time during the week. If you're meeting learners at more than once during the week, they may be free for 5 o'clock on Tuesday, but they may not be free for 5 o'clock on Thursday. So they have to be available for both of those times for them to consider your course, which is a bit of a challenge. I haven't quite found a solution for this yet. So if anybody watching this video have tips, feel free to leave me a comment below. Okay, our last format, the flex class. In flex classes, there are no scheduled live video calls. Classes are pre-recorded videos or in some sort of preset format that you provide with the students. And you as the teachers would host engaging discussion questions via class forum or private messages. So this format at first looked really attractive to me, and is what I strive for when I got into Outschool, because it sounds like almost like passive income. I create a class, I just have to pre-record it, put it on there, and students will take it, and then I'm done. I can just collect money in my sleep. But actually I found out there's a lot more work than that. So let's talk about it a little bit more. This kind of format can be advantageous for students who maybe prefer to work at their own pace, or if they are just a little bit shy for live social interactions. You can reach more students in this sense. You can also reach students who live in maybe different time zones as you. Even if you teach in the United States, students in Australia can take your class. So you can potentially have a really big class if your topic is popular, and there's really no cap on your earnings in that sense. Another advantage of the live class is, of course, you don't have to teach live every week, which saves you a lot of energy. That is the most attractive aspect of this format, I think, personally. But you do have to still engage with the students by hosting discussion questions and give them feedback on how they're doing when they submit assignments that you've given them. Now let's discuss the cons of flex classes. So it's confusing. Flex classes can be more attractive for students who are a little bit more shy, but it can be less attractive for students who come to Outschool because they want that live interaction and they crave that, human touch of things. So there's opposing forces playing out. It's true that, today we have so many free resources readily available on the internet. Personally, for me, if I want to learn something that's already pre-recorded, I just go on YouTube. I wouldn't pay for it. So it's a little bit tricky in this sense. Outschool does request that you still have some level of engagement and interaction with the students. So it is possible, but you just have to tap into your brain juice and be even more creative. So thankfully, there are lots of tools out there that you can use to do this. You can, create quizzes with Google Forms. I've also heard of interactive slideshows like Peer Deck. There is also something called Kahoot, which is great for trivia. So you can use all of these, but if you are already feeling busy enough as it is, you may not have the mental energy to spend on getting to know all of these new tools. I haven't taught any flex classes myself so far yet, but I definitely do want to experiment with it more down the road. I have heard that in general, flex classes don't do as well as live classes, but I think if you can manage to pull it off, you can do really well. There are some examples of successful flex classes on Outschool. I think flex classes are especially great for topics that require some time to soak in and are contemplative in nature. So for example, reading, book clubs, writing, history. Students, I think, will have time to really absorb the things that they learn and take their time to produce their own output. I think that's really great. So for me, because I'm teaching dance and yoga, I haven't found a way to translate it into non-live interaction yet. I really have to take some time one day to just sit down and brainstorm this out. Alright guys, so that is for today's video. We went over all the pros and cons of the different class formats. I would love to hear what you think and what is your favorite format to teach on Outschool as well. If you've enjoyed this video and you watched all the way till here, please give it a thumbs up and follow my channel for more content. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!